We're going to pick up in Genesis again, and the last time we heard there was another phrase, we said, and God saw that it was good. There's another phrase, evening and morning were the third day, evening and morning were the second day, evening and morning were the first day. There's a rhythm, and there's a structure that comes along. And then we see, after the third day, the fruit was given, on the third day the fruit was given and the grass started to grow. And we said that was for food and nurturing and all the other things that it does. And the seeds were placed in there. And so life could not only be, but it could be and continue to be in a cycle of life. And then it says that God put lights in the firmament of the heavens. And we talked a little bit about light. And so the lights, but I'm going to kind of skip over that. And he said, and these lights will be for what? What purpose? Signs. Signs? What is a sign?
Indicator.
It's an indicator. It's something that tells us something. And so for signs, for seasons, for days and years. So there's a rhythm that God built in. Why the rhythm?
The rhythm of life.
Yeah, that's my word today. Life. How is rhythm shown in life?
It regulates life.
That's what rhythm is. It's a regulation. Time, energy, space, heartbeat, pulse rate. And so when we see these lights in the heavens, they are for teaching and marking time. Day and night. Why do we need night? To sleep. For what reason?
Regeneration.
Recharge. So, light. And the body even has a thing called melatonin that without enough light, we start getting sleepy. And then we wake up when it's bright and sunny. And that is with intention. Tells our bodies even to wake up or to go to sleep because of rest and activity. And the wise God of life created rhythm for life. And then it says that there's a purpose that these lights were to give for the purpose of giving light on the earth. And in the midst of that, he took two lights. Notice it doesn't say the sun and the moon here. Two lights. The greater light, two great lights. Which means what? When it says great? Two bigger. That means their light is more prominent. And they had a purpose. The greater light of the great lights was to rule the day. And the lesser light to rule the night. What's the greater light he's talking about there?
Sun.
The sun. Shemesh in Hebrew. What's the lesser light?
The moon.
The moon. And so they kind of rule. They dominate, in other words. So why the sun? It's to rule the day, but for what purpose?
To help with the vegetation.
Help with vegetation. Vegetation needs that sunlight, but so do we.
The sunlight.
The ocean needs it too.
But one of the vitamins, A or D, or one of them you get from sunlight, D. And the moon? The moon creates tides. All these things they're interconnected. Notice that all these things find their true meaning in relationship to everything else. So hanging a light out there and having it do nothing is useless. It's like putting a light bulb on a tree. So even the purpose that's given is about life. So purpose is about life. And in fact, participating in life. So we move to the next day. God set them in the firmament of the heavens, verse 17. Verse 18, to rule over the day and over the night, to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. Again, God's view of everything that He creates. One thing, the reason why He views it as good is because it came from Him. From His hand, from His intention, from His will. And that's good because that's centered on life. Life giver sees life as good, and that is what life giver is about. And like the parent, the expectant parent who is serving that baby who's going to come in, God is a serving God. If He is here, He can't just make the world and walk away. Because everything finds its existence in Him and it comes from Him. So, just in being and doing and giving life, He is serving His creation. Now that brings, just to forward real quick, when Jesus came and He said, I did not come to be served, but to serve and give my life as a ransom for many. Most people see that as, wow, that's a really unnatural act for God. But God is a serving God. He serves life because He is about life. He doesn't take it on the chin like it's something that cheapens Him. Like we think serving. By the way, that's what we were created for. But not in this distorted, crazy idea of serving. So, serving life, giving life, doing what we were created to do actually gives us a part in life-giving. A purpose, a meaning. Just like the lights. God didn't create the light for itself, but to be in relationship. The planets and the orbits, they find their meaning in giving life. All the things that He created find their meaning in the life-giving. Then He made these great creatures. Let the waters abound with an abundance of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the face of the firmament of the heavens. So God created great sea creatures, every living thing that moves, with which the waters abounded according to their kind, every winged bird according to its kind, and God saw that it was good. I want you to think about the purpose of birds and winged creatures. What do they do? They pollinate. They get little sticky stuff on their little claws and whatever, and they hop from flower to flower, and they pollinate. So just by being and doing, they are life givers. They participate in life giving. Talk about wisdom. Beyond wisdom. And God saw that that's good. And when you hear that that's good, God values life. If you don't get anything out of this, God values life because He is life giver. And by the way, what motivated God to do it?
Love.
Love, because love longs to give life. It's an expression of love. That's why we say He is the lover of life. Everything that He was about in creation, and I might add redemption, is about life. So, God blessed them and saying, be fruitful and multiply, fill the waters and the seas, and let the birds multiply on the earth. So the evening and morning were the fifth day. When He says, God blessed them and said, be fruitful and multiply, what is He saying, in essence? Go, give life. Be who you were created to be, and in doing so, you bring life. Now when you see how it reflects upon the God who says that, just like the artist who does the sculpture or creates the masterpiece as an expression, when God says give life, it's an expression of Him as life giver. Then God said, let the earth bring forth living creatures, the living creatures according to its kind. Notice that, according to its kind, according to its kind. That's part of the structuring process whereby everything finds its uniqueness in creation by being what it is. Let me say that again. Everything finds its uniqueness in creation by being what it is. Notice how there's some theories that try to make everything all blended into a soup and it means nothing, and just you kind of accidentally fall out of there, and if you live long enough you become something else, the frog to the dog kind of thing. But that's not the way God created. God created life to be what it was. And what's God's opinion of what he created? So to be what you were created to be is good. In fact, I challenge you that that is what holiness is about. Holiness. Wholeness. To be what you were created to be. Not to run around and have all these things that you do that prove that you're something. We're going to attack that one in a minute.
All right.
So, he made all these beasts, and it was so. Notice what he made on that sixth day. What did he make? What did he make? Animals. What kind of animals? What kind of land animals? Any familiar one to these guys?
Man.
Cows. Cattle. Has mankind been made yet? So mankind hasn't been made yet. And these cattle, are they bad? Are they no good?
They're good. They're good.
So if they're good, how come these guys are worshiping them? Means the way they see them is wrong. So, humans haven't even been made yet. Notice that creation is doing something. We said intent, right? When you see it, it's increasing in its structure, but it's also increasing in importance. And so now we get to, remember all this action that you hear, there's a rhythm. God saw, God said, and then we get to this. Now remember I said that when there's a change in the pattern, that's a note to pay attention. Something very special is happening.